Now that we have our lightning attack completely built, let's go ahead and integrate it into our main scene so we can fight back against these enemy hordes. Now, one of the benefits of using prefabs is that I could just apply these changes to the boy prefab, and all of these changes would be apparent automatically in my main scene. This approach has two drawbacks, however, and so I'm not going to do that currently. The first drawback is that if I apply the changes to the boy prefab, it's going to save the antenna and the lightning attack and the lightning bolt as a part of the boy prefab. The result is that those objects as part of the boy will lose their link to the prefabs I have in my VFX folder. So if I were to later come down to my lightning bolt prefab and make a change, it would not be apparent on the boy. They would be two separate prefabs. The other reason I'm not going to do this is because constructing the attack one more time is good practice. It'll help us remember exactly which pieces go into making this attack and how they fit together. That being said, I'm going to go over to our main scene now by going to the Scenes folder in the project view and double-clicking on Main. Here we have our main scene with our boy character without the antenna game object. As a bit of a refresher, I'm going to go ahead and add the antenna now by right-clicking on the boy game object in the hierarchy and selecting Create Empty. I'll rename that empty game object Antenna. As you recall, I'm going to change from perspective mode to isometric mode by clicking on the word persp, or PERSP, right underneath the scene gizmo. I'm then going to click on an axis to align with it. Once done, I now have a nice, straight, flat view, and I can simply move the game object I want, namely antenna, up to the tip of the antenna of the character's remote control. I can click on another axis to align with that, and again, just move the game object to align with the character's remote control. When I'm done aligning the antenna game object, I can leave isometric mode by clicking on the word right underneath the scene gizmo, which will put me back in perspective mode. Now that I have my antenna, I can begin constructing my lightning attack. I'm going to go to my prefabs folder and then my VFX subfolder, and I'm going to locate lightning attack. I'll click and drag that up onto the antenna. A quick glance shows me that all of my properties are set up except for my weapon references, namely my lightning bolt and my lightning hit. Neither of those exist in my scene yet. So let's go back to the VFX prefab folder and locate lightning bolt, and click and drag that and nest it underneath lightning attack. You'll see that after the previous section, I went ahead and added the ray phases to the lightning bolt script. Again, you can either copy those from the VFX reference prefabs folder, or you can make your own and be as creative as you want. Now before moving on, I want to make sure that my lightning attack and my lightning bolt are both centered on this antenna. To do that, I'm just going to click on the lightning attack game object and right click on the transform component and choose reset. I'm going to do the same for the lightning bolt. Now in order for the lightning attack to work, we need our lightning hit prefab also in the scene. I don't really want to make that a child of the lightning attack or lightning bolt game objects though, because we want the lightning attack to move to a position and stay at that position regardless of how the player moves around. If the lightning hit game object was a child of the player, as the player moved, so too would the lightning hit. So what I'm going to do, since there's going to be multiple attack effects in our game that shouldn't be nested under the player, is I'm going to create a game object that's going to hold them all in place. To do that, I'm going to go to the hierarchy window and select Create Empty. I'm going to rename this game object Attack Effects, and I'm going to reset its transform so it's at the center of our level. Now that I have this Attack Effects game object, I'm going to go to my VFX prefabs folder and locate my lightning hit prefab. I'm going to click and drag that and drop it on top of the Attack Effects game object in the hierarchy window. I don't have to worry about disabling the lightning hit game object because its effects are not play on awake, they'll only be played when we tell it to. Now, I'm going to click on the lightning attack game object, and I'm going to look at the lightning attack script. Underneath the weapon references section, we need to supply the lightning bolt and the lightning hit, so I'm going to click and drag the appropriate game objects onto those properties. Now, my lightning attack is good to go. It has all of the references it needs and all of its particle and visual effects are appropriately configured. I just need to tell the player's attack script that this lightning attack now exists. To do that, I'm going to go to the boy game object in the hierarchy, and I'm going to look for the player attack script in the inspector. Under the section for lightning attack, I'm going to click and drag the lightning attack and drop it on the lightning attack property. I'm then going to tell the player that they have one attack. Now that that's done, I'm going to hit play and I'm going to test this out in our actual game. As we can see, we have the lightning emitter particle effects already going. And when I click, I shoot a bolt of lightning. I'm also able to defeat the enemies as they come at me. Furthermore, I can hit the environment objects. There are still plenty of attacks to add to complete our arsenal. For now though, this is a good start.